There's a stretch of ocean, a vast triangle out there, where the whispers of mystery, well, they seem to cling to the very air and the water. It's a patch where compasses have reportedly spun wildly, where planes have vanished without a trace, and ships have simply disappeared, just swallowed by the waves. We're speaking, of course, of the Bermuda Triangle, an enigmatic expanse usually defined by its points, roughly Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. For decades, it has haunted our collective imagination. Is it a graveyard of lost vessels? A playground for something supernatural? Or merely a legend born from the profound unknown? Tonight, we set sail into the heart of this enduring mystery. We'll chart a course between what's fact, what might be fiction, and what could lie, maybe unsettlingly, in between.
It is truly captivating, isn't it? How deeply this particular mystery has captured our imagination. It just draws us into these tales of inexplicable disappearances. In this deep dive, our mission really is to peel back the layers of those compelling stories, to examine the science or sometimes the lack of it behind them, and to extract the real nuggets of knowledge from the sources we've looked at. So you, our listener, can truly understand this enduring enigma, maybe beyond just the sensational headlines.
The Bermuda Triangle's reputation, its notoriety, it began to truly solidify around the mid-20th century. This was a time when reports, stories of ships and planes vanishing under what seemed like utterly baffling circumstances, well, they started piling up. We're talking about a scale that really fuels the legend. Estimates suggest over 50 ships, maybe 20 airplanes, are said to have disappeared in its waters, leaving behind agonizingly little, if anything, no trace. Imagine the sheer terror, being aboard one of those vessels, knowing you're in what should be just navigable ocean, only for everything to simply cease. The case that most profoundly cemented the Triangle's terrifying reputation, the one that really captured public fear, involves Flight 19. Now, this wasn't just any incident. This was a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers.
Right, these weren't amateurs.
No. Experienced pilots flying in relatively clear conditions, it seems, on a routine training mission out of Fort Lauderdale, December 1945, yet they vanished without a trace. Their last transmissions were incredibly chilling, filled with fragmented, confused reports.
Yeah, the flight leader, Lieutenant Taylor.
Right, Lieutenant Charles Taylor. He spoke of strange compass readings, a growing sense of disorientation, an inability to figure out where they were.
We don't know which way is west, I think was one quote.
Exactly. Everything is wrong. Strange.
Hmm.
And the enigma just deepened, didn't it? If that's even possible.
Mm-hmm.
When a Martin Mariner flying boat, a massive search and rescue plane,
Sent specifically to find them.
sent specifically to find Flight 19, it also vanished shortly after takeoff.
Never seen again.
Never seen again. To lose 6 aircraft, 27 men in such a short span, with no wreckage, no clear distress calls, nothing but that confusing radio chatter. It truly set the stage for the mystery we know today. And beyond Flight 19, there are other notable stories, aren't there? Stories that loom large in the Triangle's dark history, contributing to its ominous aura. Take the USS Cyclops, for instance.
Wow, it's a huge one, both literally and figuratively.
A massive Navy collier, over 500 feet long, carrying a full cargo of manganese ore, with a staggering 309 men aboard.
309. It's hard to fathom.
It disappeared in March of 1918, during World War I, somewhere between Barbados and Norfolk, Virginia.
And again, no distress signal.
No distress signal ever sent, no wreckage found, not a single life raft, nothing. To this day, it remains the single largest loss of life in U.S. Navy history, not directly related to combat.
Incredible.
Then there's the Marine Sulphur Queen, a tanker carrying molten sulfur.
Vanished in 63.
1963, yes. With 39 crew members. Again, no distress calls.
God.
Only some scattered debris found later. But never the vessel itself, leaving behind only this ocean of unanswered questions, the sheer, utter finality of these disappearances, the absolute lack of definitive answers. That's what truly grips us, I think.
And when we connect this to the bigger picture, it's precisely that profound, complete absence, the lack of wreckage, the lack of a clear explanation that fuels the persistent mystery for so many of us. Our minds, we're wired to find patterns, to solve puzzles. And when we're faced with such a void, such a complete lack of information, we naturally try to fill it, often maybe with the most dramatic or sensational possibilities that come to mind. For you, the listener, just consider the profound psychological impact of these complete vanishing acts, how they challenge our understanding of what's possible in the natural world or even what might be hidden, beneath the surface. It leaves a deep mark on our collective imagination.
So, with such a profound record of vanishings and this unsettling thought of ships and planes just ceasing to exist, The natural question becomes, what could possibly cause this? So let's dig into some of the theories that have been put forward, trying to make sense of these vanishings. Moving from the perhaps more scientific to the more speculative. One theory, often cited, points to potential magnetic anomalies within the triangle. The idea is that this region is home to strange magnetic forces,
Right.
powerful enough to disrupt navigation.
Right, the compass spinning idea.
Exactly. It's true that the area is near something called an agonic line, which is a geographical line where magnetic north and true north actually align. The thought is that this convergence could potentially confuse compasses, especially older ones perhaps, leading to critical errors for unsuspecting sailors and pilots.
That's definitely a classic theory, and it sounds plausible, on the surface. But from what we've learned in this deep dive, has modern science actually found any evidence, any hard data to support those magnetic disruptions as a widespread cause? The reality is, while an agonic line exists, and yes, compasses do need adjustments as you travel the globe, modern studies, using pretty sophisticated instruments, have found no unusual magnetic disturbances in the area. At least, nothing significant enough that would account for these widespread disappearances.
Okay.
Our scientific instruments just haven't detected anything that far out of the ordinary in that regard, not on a scale to explain these large incidents.
So if it's not unusual magnetic interference, what about something happening beneath the waves? There's another intriguing hypothesis involving methane gas eruptions.
Ah, yes, the methane hydrates theory.
The idea here is that vast deposits of methane gas trapped as hydrates under the seafloor could suddenly, maybe catastrophically, erupt.
Right, a huge release of bubbles.
Massive bubbles, yes, which would then dramatically lower the density of the water above almost instantaneously. So a ship suddenly finding itself in this less dense, kind of frothy water would lose buoyancy.
And sink incredibly fast.
Extremely rapidly, almost instantly, leaving little time for distress signals or even for debris to scatter widely.
It's a compelling theoretical mechanism, definitely. And we know methane hydrates exist on ocean floors all over the world. However, for this theory to explain the Bermuda Triangle disappearances specifically, we'd expect to see geological evidence, right? Evidence of recent, very large-scale methane releases in that particular region.
Like craters or something.
Exactly. Maybe massive craters or specific sediment patterns indicating huge blowouts. But geological surveys, especially those focused on the Bermuda Triangle area, show no such evidence. Certainly nothing of the magnitude or frequency required to explain the sheer number of modern disappearances attributed to the triangle.
I see.
So while it's theoretically possible maybe somewhere else, it doesn't seem to align with the specific geological reality of this area.
Perhaps the most powerful and, well, tangibly real explanation lies in the sheer raw power of the ocean itself. Rogue waves. Extreme weather.
The forces of nature.
The Bermuda Triangle sits squarely within a notorious hurricane-prone zone. It's just a fact. A region frequently battered by sudden, violent storms that can develop rapidly, often unpredictably.
And the currents.
The strong, often unpredictable currents of the Atlantic, particularly the mighty Gulf Stream, crisscross this area. And then there's the documented existence of rogue waves.
Which aren't just big waves.
No, these are different. These are towering walls of water, sometimes reaching heights of 60, maybe even 100 feet, appearing seemingly out of nowhere, often against the prevailing swell.
They could absolutely capsize even very large ships without warning. Just overwhelm them.
Easily. And once a vessel succumbs to forces like that,
The Gulf Stream takes over.
that powerful Gulf Stream is perfectly capable of sweeping away all traces of wreckage, scattering it across vast distances, making search and recovery efforts incredibly difficult, maybe nearly impossible.
It's really striking when you think about it. The sheer raw power of nature itself in this specific region, the formidable forces of the ocean, especially when you combine them with sudden localized weather events like rogue waves, it can often be a far more plausible, albeit still terrifying, explanation for maritime losses than invoking anything supernatural. It truly forced us to confront the inherent vulnerability of even our most robust, modern vessels against the true might of an untamed ocean. It also highlights just how quickly a disaster can unfold out there, leaving absolutely no time for warnings or distress calls.
And, of course, we have to consider the perhaps less dramatic but undeniable reality of human error and mechanical failure.
The mundane explanation.
Right. Given the sheer volume of maritime traffic and air traffic that passes through the Bermuda Triangle every day.
It's a busy place.
It's incredibly busy. Statistically, it's just more likely to see accidents here. just as it would be in any other heavily traveled area of the world, whether it's shipping lanes or busy airports.
Makes sense.
Navigational mistakes, equipment malfunctions, simple engine failures, or even pilot disorientation, especially flying over a vast, featureless ocean at night or in bad weather.
These are common factors in incidents globally.
Exactly. Add to that the immense challenge of deploying rescue resources effectively across such a huge, deep, and often tempestuous area of water.
Right.
What might otherwise be a recoverable mishap, something survivable, can quickly turn into a tragic disappearance.
And this point really reinforces a crucial reality, I think. Even in our advanced technological times, with GPS and modern communications, human factors and mechanical failures, they remain significant, pervasive contributors to maritime and air incidents all over the world. While we are naturally drawn, maybe, to the extraordinary explanations, the mysterious ones, it's vital to acknowledge the persistent role of these common yet often devastating elements.
Yeah.
They don't make for as compelling a story, perhaps, as aliens or time warps.
Yes or not?
But they are, statistically speaking, the most likely culprits in the vast majority of cases.
And naturally, no discussion of the Bermuda Triangle would be complete without at least briefly acknowledging the truly captivating tales, the supernatural stuff, the sensational.
The really wild theories.
The legend is undeniably kept alive by stories of alien abductions, mysterious time warps where ships supposedly enter another dimension entirely, or even the lost city of Atlantis somehow pulling vessels down to its dark, watery depths.
Right.
These tales, while undeniably captivating and certainly fueling our inherent desire for the mystical and the unknown, they stand firmly outside the realm of scientific explanation. There's just no evidence.
None whatsoever.
But they tap into a primal fascination, don't they? With what lies beyond our understanding.
Indeed. And while these fantastical narratives lack any scientific backing at all, zero, their role in maintaining the triangle's enduring allure is undeniable. You can't ignore their impact. They resonate with our deepest fears, our deepest fascinations with the unknown, ensuring that the mystery continues to capture imaginations around the globe, regardless of what the facts might say. It's really a powerful testament to the human capacity for storytelling and for myth-making.
So when we move beyond the captivating anecdotes, the legends, the speculative theories, what does this all mean when we bring in the rigorous perspective of modern data, expert analysis? What do the hard, cold facts actually tell us about the Bermuda Triangle's notorious reputation?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Australian scientist Dr. Carl Kruszelnicki, he spent considerable time meticulously examining the data, pulling from reliable, comprehensive records, not just stories.
Like insurance records.
Exactly. He points out that according to highly respected sources like the century-old shipping insurance market Lloyd's of London and the U.S. Coast Guard, who track incidents very carefully, the Bermuda Triangle does not, in fact, have a statistically higher rate of disappearances than any other heavily traveled area of ocean.
Really? Not higher at all.
He states it quite plainly. He says, some years a bit more, some years a bit less, but ultimately it averages out the same.
Wow.
And this isn't just one person's opinion either. This perspective is strongly corroborated by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. They explicitly state, and I'm quoting here, there is no evidence that mysterious disappearances occur with any greater frequency in the Bermuda Triangle than in any other large, well-traveled area of the ocean.
That's pretty definitive from NOAA.
It is. And what this suggests to you, the listener, is that our perception of risk in this area might be heavily skewed by its mythical status, rather than its actual statistical reality.
That's a powerful counterpoint to the prevailing narrative, isn't it? One that truly reshapes our understanding. And the groundbreaking work of another researcher, Larry Kusha, adds another absolutely crucial layer to this, effectively pulling back the curtain on how much the legend was actually constructed, maybe even invented.
Yes, in 1975, Larry Kusha made a truly significant contribution, maybe more than anyone before him in terms of debunking. He didn't just dismiss the stories outright. He meticulously investigated many of the Triangle's most famous cases, went back to original reports.
Sunk into the detail.
Exactly. His research revealed numerous errors, outright exaggerations, and in some cases, even outright fabrications in the earlier reports that had fueled the legend for decades. For instance, he found cases where lost ships were actually located later, but the records were just never updated publicly. The story of the lost persisted.
Oh.
Or A pilot's confusing transmission, perhaps due to simple disorientation over a vast, featureless ocean, was dramatically reinterpreted and amplified by writers into talk of strange compass readings caused by supernatural forces.
Taking a normal event and twisting it.
Precisely. Cush's ultimate conclusion was stark. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle was largely a product of sensational journalism, sloppy research, and our inherent human fascination with the unknown, with very little basis in verifiable fact when you really dig deep. And this raises an important question for you, the listener. How much of what we know about famous mysteries, those captivating tales that linger in our minds, how much is actually shaped by media sensationalism and human storytelling, rather than just the objective facts?
So, okay, let's just unpack this for a moment. If the facts and the experts largely debunk the supernatural explanations, if statistically it's no more dangerous than any other busy shipping lane or air corridor, why? Why does the Bermuda Triangle still fascinate us so deeply? Why does it continue to hold such a powerful grip on the human imagination even today, in this age of information and accessible data?
Well, I think there's several compelling reasons for its continued allure. It's not just one thing. First, even with rational explanations offered for many cases, the sheer fact of those truly unexplained disappearances, the persistent lack of wreckage in some key incidents, the utter finality of those losses, it leaves an unsettling void. A mystery that remains, even if the mysterious cause is simply the ocean's vastness and power. Our minds struggle to reconcile that complete absence.
The unknown is powerful.
Exactly. Secondly, as humans, we seem to be inherently drawn to mysteries that defy easy answers, especially those involving the sea. The ocean has long been associated with the unknown, with vastness, with hidden depths. It's a natural canvas for our fears and our wonders.
True.
And finally, you can't discount the role of media and myth. Once the Bermuda Triangle myth was firmly established, every subsequent incident in the region, no matter how explainable by ordinary means of storm, engine failure, whatever, it just became another chapter in the Triangle's unfolding story, continually reinforcing the narrative in our collective consciousness.
Feeding the legend.
Feeding the legend. It's hard to unsee a legend once it's been so firmly etched into public memory. And as Dr. Kruselnicki very clearly states, and it really bears repeating, because it cuts right through the myth, if you go to the facts, there's no extra losses of ships or airplanes in that area. The reality of the numbers stands in really stark contrast to the enduring power of the myth.
So, as our journey through the Bermuda Triangle comes to a close, we're left to ponder, aren't we? Is it a deadly trap, a mere statistical illusion, or simply a profound legend born from our deep-seated fear of the unknown? The answer, perhaps, is all of these, woven together somehow. The ocean is vast, its weather is unpredictable, sometimes violently so, and the human mind is ever hungry for stories, especially those that hint at something grander, something more terrifying, or something simply beyond our current comprehension, until the last question is truly answered, until every lost vessel is accounted for. The Bermuda Triangle will continue to beckon the curious and perhaps the brave into its enigmatic embrace. What mysteries, we wonder, still truly lurk, unseen and unheard, in the forgotten corners of our world?
Our deep dive into the Bermuda Triangle really demonstrates the enduring power of myth and the power of human storytelling, doesn't it? But importantly, it also illuminates the immense clarity that critical thinking and a thorough examination of data can bring to these things. A deep dive like this helps us, and hopefully helps you, to truly discern fact from compelling fiction. It allows us to appreciate the awesome power of both nature and the human imagination, and perhaps to look at the world and its enduring mysteries with just a bit more informed curiosity.